Do you ever stop and wonder if you truly understand your cat? You feed it every day. You spend time with it. You recognize its sounds, and you believe you know what it wants. But the truth is, most of the things your cat does are often misunderstood. Behaviors that seem simple and familiar on the surface can carry completely different meanings underneath. And if you don't recognize those meanings, you might be unintentionally hurting the very animal you care about without even realizing it. Someone once shared that they always thought their cat was difficult until they started paying closer attention. What they discovered wasn't that their cat was complicated, but that they had been interpreting everything the wrong way. One of the most common misunderstandings is when a cat meows. Most people instinctively assume that a meow means hunger. It feels logical, especially when feeding your cat seems to quiet it down. But in reality, adult cats in the wild rarely meow at each other. They rely far more on body language and scent communication. The meowing you hear is actually something your cat has developed specifically to communicate with humans. Your cat has learned that humans respond to sound, so it uses sound to get a reaction. But that reaction is not always about food. Sometimes it's greeting you when you walk in. Sometimes it's expressing loneliness. And sometimes it's simply asking for attention. When every meow is answered with food, you may be unintentionally teaching your cat that vocalizing is the only way to receive attention. Over time, this creates a cycle where the behavior increases not because your cat is hungrier, but because it has learned how to communicate in a way that works on you. Another behavior that frustrates many cat owners is scratching. Couches, beds, curtains, nothing seems safe. It's easy to assume that your cat is being destructive, but if you look deeper, scratching is not a negative behavior at all. For cats, scratching is a biological need. Their claws grow continuously, and scratching helps remove old layers and keep them healthy. At the same time, cats have scent glands in their paws, so when they scratch, they are leaving behind a territorial marker. It's their way of saying, "This space belongs to me." On top of that, scratching helps release energy and reduce stress. If you simply try to stop the behavior, your cat won't understand why something so natural is being restricted. The solution is not to eliminate the instinct, but to redirect it. When you provide a proper scratching post or engaging alternatives, you're giving your cat a better option instead of fighting against its nature. Another moment that often makes people uncomfortable is when a cat stares at them. Being watched so intently can feel unsettling, leading you to believe your cat is annoyed or even hostile. But in the cat world, eye contact carries layers of meaning. If a cat is staring with a tense body and wide pupils, it can signal alertness. But if the gaze is soft, relaxed, and especially if it includes a slow blink, then it means something entirely different. A slow blink is a sign of trust and affection. It's often described as a cat kiss. You can even try it yourself. Look at your cat gently, blink slowly, and then look away. If your cat responds, you've just shared a quiet form of communication that doesn't require words. One of the biggest misconceptions happens when a cat shows its belly. Many people see this as an invitation to pet, but that's not always the case. The belly is the most vulnerable part of a cat's body. In the wild, exposing it means taking a huge risk. So, when a cat rolls over and shows its belly, it's expressing a deep level of trust. However, trust does not necessarily mean it wants to be touched. This is a subtle boundary that many people fail to recognize. When you reach in and touch the belly without understanding your cat's comfort level, its natural response is to defend itself. This often gets interpreted as aggression, when in reality, you simply crossed a line. Finally, many people assume that cats are lazy because they sleep so much. Cats can sleep anywhere from 12 to 16 hours a day, which might seem excessive, but this is not laziness, it's survival instinct. As natural predators, cats conserve energy for short bursts of intense activity. Even in a safe home environment, this instinct remains. And when your cat chooses to sleep next to you, it's not just resting. It's a sign of trust. In its most vulnerable state, your cat still chooses to stay close to you. That's a level of comfort and security that shouldn't be taken lightly. Once you begin to see these behaviors from a different perspective, you'll realize that your cat isn't mysterious at all. It's actually very clear. It just communicates in a way that humans are not used to. The issue isn't that cats are difficult to understand. It's that we haven't learned how to read them properly. And when you shift that perspective, your relationship with your cat changes. It goes from simply owning a pet to building a genuine connection based on understanding and trust.